bit further?
Definitely.
Yeah. Good luck, Lenny.
Thank you.
Terrific ride there from Lenny Beasley, and there he was with Johnny Letts, a very happy Gary Kennewell, the trainer. We've had 6 races at Flemington on Foster's Melbourne Cup Day. We'll take a break and come back with the weight signal and the dividends on the Schweppes 1000 as we draw ever closer to the great race, the Foster's Melbourne Cup. Last year, in excess of 100,000 people attended the first Tuesday in November at Flemington, and yet again in 1999 we have a massive crowd on hand to witness the nation's greatest race, and it is getting ever closer now. Only round about 1 hour and 25 minutes away, the Foster's Melbourne Cup. We've had 6 races down. The previous event, it was a very close finish, well called Dan Malicki. It was a short half head in favour of Tilt the Scales, defeating the runner-up Joker's Wild Progress, number 5, hard up against the outside rail in 3rd placing. And Mr. Des Gleeson is declaring the weight is right after the running of race 6. Dividends are now official. Dan Malicki, take us through them.
For 475 on the Super Tab tote, 440 the win and 190 the place, Tilt the Scales, $3 Joker's Wild and 170 for Progress. Trifecta 186.70, Quinella $29.10, Exacta 39.80, and the running double $18.40. 475 and correct weight. Tim, on the 6th event, the Schweppes 1000.
Yeah, Dan, they left the money in the bags there. It was a heavy go for Progress. They also backed the number 2 in that race also, but left the money behind. But the favourite Tintagel Head was a big drifter in the race. So I can tell you that in race 7, number 4, Spinning Hill is a short price favourite in the ring. And just repeating the news that Tie the Knot is the best back runner for the Cup, double figures into just over a tick over each way odds. And Peter Donegan, you're talking about all these emails and all this sort of stuff. Has anyone sent in about me?
No, sadly, but we'll get someone to make something. I'm sure they will, Tim. I think they're just waiting for later in the day to make sure that your performance maintains the standard to which we have become accustomed.
Much appreciated. If my family's watching, please,
yes.
Quick, be quick.
Yeah, jump on the computer quickly. The Gossage family, hurry up. We're coming to the next. Goss mentioned Spinning Hill. I thought it was probably just about the best for the day.
It definitely has got a strong chance in this. There's no doubt, Peter. And I thought it was it's going to be very, very hard to beat in this race. But it's not my top pick. I'm going for a bit of value anyway.
Oh yeah, what are you going for?
I'm going for number 10, Miss Truce. I liked her run there at Caulfield. She's got a long way back over the 1,200 metres. She steps up to 1,400 here today. Around about $10 there, $10.50 on the tote. And I think the 1,400 will definitely suit her. The second I put in number 4, Spinning Hill, and number 2, Gilded Angel for 3rd.
So how come Spinning Hill was your tip in the Herald Sun this morning?
Well, it was, but I just saw the price and I just thought, well, it's a little bit shorter than the odds that I like to take anyway, so I'd go for something at a bit more value.
I think that's a very good explanation. Stop pulling my coat. Spinning Hill, from 3 of us down the bottom, myself, Dan and Gary, and we've got Miss Truce from Jennifer and Camargue from Richard Friedman and Johnny Letts. Camargue getting home in a tight photo at Caulfield at its last start. And we should wish a good friend of ours in Brian Martin, the chief race caller of Sport 927, who's one of the part owners of Camargue. The best of luck. Wouldn't he love to win a race on Melbourne Cup Day?
Would he ever? I wonder if he'll hold his voice throughout that if it's a close finish.
I hope he does, and I have actually done that before. Not that I've had a horse, but I have had to call one of mine in a race. It was a greyhound, and it is one of the worst things you can ever do. It is just so nerve-wracking. Now, speaking of nerve-wracking, the nerves are starting to get on edge for the Foster's Melbourne Cup, an hour and 23 minutes away. You can see Tie the Knot has pretty well held its place in that tote market all the way through. It's only 70 cents variation, but that will come in if the bookmakers' figures are any indication. Sky Heights has also tightened up a little bit and is now round about the $4.90 mark. Arena at 15. Yavana's Pace 36, the Hind 11, Travel Mate 10 has trimmed up a little bit, almost $1. Skybow 44, and these are Super Tab dividends for $1. 6.5 million in the win pool, 5.1 in the place pool. Other chances, Streak's got a little outside chance. Rogan Josh, as you can see there, number 17, well, it is right in the betting along with Lay Beal, with Rogan Josh around the $6.10 mark and Lay Beal at $10.40, and over the page, very long odds for the rest of them. And the best of those, probably number 22, the Warrior, which won the Saab Quality here on Saturday. So there are the updated figures. And just to bring you up to date again, as Tim Gossage just told us, that Tie the Knot has almost halved its price in the betting ring, Jen.
Yes.
But we believe a lot of that money is from doubles bookmakers. So it may be just a little bit misleading
Well, it could be, but I believe that they stand to lose quite a lot if Tyler Knott does win here today. And there he is.
Zabuan, that is.
Oh, is it Zabuan?
Yeah.
Sorry.
And he looks nice and relaxed and calm. And as I said, you'd win a bit of money on a trivia question here. Which is the horse in the Melbourne Cup that has won at this track and this distance? And you'd be thinking it might be, Sky Heights or a Tyler Knott or something
it's
like
this
that.
one.
Yeah, Zabuan, which has won the Duke of Norfolk Stakes here earlier this year. There are only 2 races held over 3,200 metres on the flat here at Flemington, and they are the Melbourne Cup and the Duke of Norfolk Stakes. We're ready for the presentation now after the running of race number 6 on the card, and we're going to join the Managing Director of Schweppes Cotties, Mr. Daryl Henry.
Chairman, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Schweppes is delighted to be a major sponsor and supplier to the Victorian Racing Club. Schweppes' sponsorship of the VRC and our involvement in Cup Day extends back over 30 years. We're also proud to have recently re-signed for a further 5 years. The Schweppes 1000 is a quality sprint race for 3-year-olds. Schweppes have been the proud sponsor of this particular race now for 3 years. Tilt the Scales came home in brilliant form today and now joins the ranks of previous greats who have won this race, such as Hurricane Storm and last year's winner, Sozzle. Our congratulations goes to Tilt the Scales, the owners, G. Harris, El Pension, W. Hull, T. Swanton, to the trainer, Gary Kennewell, and to the jockey, Lenny Beasley, for a fantastic performance today. It is a pleasure that I now present the Schweppes 1000 to the winning owner, represented by Mr. Graham Harris. Thanks very much.
They are a very happy lot of connections, with Tilt the Scales getting there by the barest margin, a short half head in race number 6. So we are getting closer to the traditional lead-up. 2:25 is the starting time. That's around about 25 minutes away from now. And Sandra Sully, as I come back to you, we've done this for a few years now. As I say, the Great Western is coming up. It means the big one is just around the corner, and you can feel the excitement down here in the mounting yard. I'm sure it's no different in the marquee.
I know I have to stay in my box, as it were, but it is very exciting, Pete. You know, I've got to make sure I get my tips on. I missed out on Derby Day, and I'm not going to miss out today. But 2 people are giving me their expert opinion. 2 of the Neighbour stars, Holly Valance, who's just joined the Scully clan. People will forgive me for getting that wrong, I hope. And Ryan Maloney, welcome from Neighbours to the two of you.
Thank you.
Now, Holly, you've only been in the cast for about 3 months. How are you finding it so far?
It's great. I love it. I'm having a ball.
Now, Ryan, your 5th year, I understand?
Yeah, 5 years, yeah.
You're surviving well. What about today, though? You've survived 5 Melbourne Cup carnivals that I can remember. So, tips today?
I'm glad you can remember it. Now, I'm really good at picking horses, so this is the way I do it. And I open it up, and this one, Streak. Go Streak.
Good luck today. And Holly, I've got to ask you, what's your tip?
Labille for today, I think.
Labille.
Yeah.
And do you think there's some conspiracy with the name Scully and Sully? I'm getting quite nervous.
I don't know, I kind of find it flattering when I get called Sully.
I find it flattering if I get called Holly. But not to worry, if I look like Holly, I'd be happy. Nevertheless, we hope you back a winner this afternoon. Thanks so much for joining us. And one man who's going to look after you well into the afternoon, the delightful Tim Webster. It's over to you. Hi, Tim.
Hi, Sandy. Doesn't matter what they call you, as long as you don't miss the Melbourne Cup.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. All right, I'll see you later. Have some bubbles. I bet you will.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, thinking about it. Okay.
I'm ready.
Thanks, mate. We'll take
Ciao.
over from here now. Good afternoon, everybody. Studio's a safe place to be. I've just wended my way through the crowd out there. Huge crowd. There's a person occupying just about every blade of grass out there. Magnificent day in Melbourne for the Melbourne Cup. It's not far away. Great Western before that. But, you know, the Melbourne Cup, as we all know, is renowned for its colour. But let's just cast our minds back to the days of black and white. Many horses will win this race and flash past that winning post. But this one perches high above all the rest. A special horse from a different era.
In 168 years of Melbourne Cup history, one horse stands alone. It's arguable he may not have been the best of all, but he came when Australia needed heroes. He burst through the gloom of the Great Depression, and sadly, tragically, just as quickly as he emerged, he was gone.
We're going to lose you, and we're going to miss you.
Phar Lap, New Zealand bred with a Sinhalese name that translated to lightning, a fitting title for a huge chestnut gelding that ruled the turf as much as the other hero of the day ruled the pitches. The Big Red, as he was known by the masses, finished third behind Night March in the 1929 Melbourne Cup. A year later, with Jim Pike in the saddle, a hefty 9 stone 12, Phar Lap strolled to victory by 3 lengths. Second Wind was next of the 15 runners, but not even a cyclone's breath would have beaten Lightning that day, the only odds-on horse to win the Cup.
No danger now. Here's the post and Pike eases in. Why, it's like he's taking candy from a baby. It's all over. Phar Lap wins.
He finished 8th in 1931, but the legend had already been cast, and the reputation spread overseas, labelled by American journalists as the Red Terror from the Antipodes. Phar Lap won the $60,000 Agua Caliente handicap in Mexico. The world was literally at his 4 feet, only to see it swept away by perhaps the most puzzling mystery ever in Australian sport.
The pain that horse was going through, and I couldn't do a thing with him. And I thought to myself, I'll let him round as long as I really could. And then I brought him in the stable, and he done unmerciful squeal and hemorrhage, and he just dropped dead in front of me. Gee, nobody looked after that horse. I was camped alongside him, I slept alongside him, I was with him day and night. And to think the next day he's dead. You know, playing with him one day and he's dead the next day.
In a San Francisco stable, April the 2nd, 1932, only 5 years of age, Phar Lap died in the arms of his doting strapper, Tommy Woodcock. Was it poison? Was it illness? To this day, no one knows. The only certainty, while his life was so short, Phar Lap will live forever.
Yes, very inspiring story, but every time you see it, it's just an incredibly sad story, isn't it? The story of Phar Lap. Very shortly, we hope to be crossing to Dili, where we'll be speaking to Captain Grant King, part of Australia's Interfet forces, who've been doing such a wonderful job in East Timor. And we go to the break. I think we might have found a few military themists here. This is the Melbourne Cup. Come back and join us. Yes, the euphoria of this day, the Melbourne Cup. As I said to the Sports Minister earlier today, if you could put this in a bottle and market it, you would make a fortune. The people of Melbourne, in fact, the people of Australia and the world descend on this beautiful place, Flemington Racecourse, for this magnificent day. The Melbourne Cup of '99, not far away at all. Now, it's my very great pleasure, I hope, we're firing the big bird up, to talk to Captain Grant King from the Australian contingent of Interfet forces in East Timor. He's in Dili, and communication with him has been a bit sketchy, but I think I have him. Captain King, can you hear me?
Can Tim, bom dias from Dili.
Look, it's a great pleasure to talk to you. Tell me, where have we found you?
We're at a compound not far, just up the road from the Unimet headquarters, and not too far from Interfet headquarters, in a very steamy Dili at about 10 past 11 on a morning. Pretty hot and steamy, but Melbourne Cup Day, it doesn't really matter where you are in the world. We're well aware of the significance of the big day.
There's a great many people here, Captain, and I wonder how many of our fellows you've managed to gather around you to watch the big race today.
Problem is, Tim, I suppose that a lot of the blokes are working, but I've got a couple of guys with me. On my left, Corporal Jason Daniel, and on my right, Corporal Gary Wilmot, both from the 5th, 7th Battalion, Royal Australian Regiment. They're here with me today, but I'm sure there's a lot of blokes either in Dili or in and around the countryside of East Timor, that few that have access to a television screen, and probably a lot more with access to a radio will listen to the race through Radio Australia.
Yes, and what it boils down to, Captain, of course, is if you're an Aussie anywhere in the world, if you can get near a television or radio to watch the Melbourne Cup, you'll certainly do it.
Well, I think it's fair to say that while the nation stops for 2.5 or 3 minutes on the first Tuesday in November, the rest of the world also stops because there are Aussies right around the world. So everybody wants to know who won the Cup, and I suppose just as importantly, which horse ran last.
Yes, now we want to know about you fellas too. I have your operational update for today. Am I correct in saying that all other troops have moved out and the only troops now in Dili and East Timor are the Interfet troops?
Pretty much so. That's the way we understand it. The Indonesians have pretty well gone. So Dili is pretty much Interfet only, and of course there's a multitude of nations here, not just the Aussies. There are Kiwis, there are Filipinos, there are Singaporeans, Canadians, a lot of people here.
We knew there were many tense moments, Captain. We saw them on the television, but by and large, has it been a relatively smooth operation?
Tim, I think that by and large, the whole operation has gone as well as anybody could have expected. I suppose we always knew there was going to be a few tense moments in the early days, but they settled down fairly quickly, and I think it's fair to say that the militia, the people, the ones that are basically gone and who are probably causing a lot of trouble, really knew just who the boss was, and they realised very quickly that that boss was going to be Interfet, and that Dili was no place for them, and indeed, to a large extent, East Timor is no place for them, and many of them have headed across the border to West Timor.
OK, I have one final thing to say because we're about to lose the satellite, and I'm sure I speak on behalf of all Australians to you today. We're very proud of you.
Thank you very much. Keep those cards and letters coming. The guys really appreciate it.
Yes, I'm sure they do. Thanks for your time, and please enjoy our Cup, and we hope as many of you that can watch it will be watching.
We will. Thank you very much.
That's Captain Grant King from Australia's contingent of the Interfet forces in Dili, and we're very proud that they're watching us. And Lynn Talbot is, well, she's a proud girl too. She gets out in that beautiful outfit she's wearing today and just gets out and amongst those fashions. Here's Linny.
Well, I just thought it might be worth our while going through some of the dress code regulations for within the members' reserve. Well, according to this ticket anyway, let's have a look. Gentlemen are required to wear a suit, sports jacket or blazer plus tie. On the not to wear list, pullovers, cardigans, parkas, duffel coats, zippered or waist-length jackets, jeans, shorts, running shoes and thongs. Sorry guys, no thongs. But step outside Flemington's inner sanctum and anything goes. This means nothing. Let's see whether these guys might make their way in. Any thongs or runners? Oh, guys, I know you dress so beautifully from top to toe, but you're not allowed in there. Where are you all from?
Sydney.
Ah, and your names?
Lixton. Copston. Scoopston. Breakston. Airyton. You're not Getston.
Well, let's hope you get a few wins today. Well done, guys. You look fantastic.
Thank you.
Now, let me tell you something, the dress code gets thrown out all the windows, not just one of them, on Melbourne Cup Day. Look at that crowd, absolutely sensational here for Cup Day of '99. Now, before I come through to you, Peter and Jenny, I've got a couple of emails come through to me. We've got 5 HSC students studying at St Scholastica's in Glebe. Lucy, Kiri, Leanne, Karen and Christy said they're enjoying it all, particularly the fashions. Girls, let me tell you, the ladies here look absolutely stunning. And also from a school we couldn't quite make out from the email, they're having a class sweep. The winner gets 30 minutes free time, second gets 20 minutes free time, and the third place getter gets 15 minutes free time. And their email moniker is Cartman. My producer said Cartman, but I would suggest that's Cartman from South Park, Murray, I would think. Peter and Jenny, 1 to go before the big one. It's the Great Western. Good afternoon.
Hello, Tim, and that is the best prize you could get, isn't it? A bit of time off school.
Is it ever? As I remember it anyway.
Fantastic. And Tim, I must say to you too, when you interviewed Captain Grant King, it was shown on the big screens here at Flemington, and all of the crowd was watching and looking pretty proud of what was going on too.
Well, you know, Pete, that's the first time that we've had any of our boys away anywhere in the time we've been doing Melbourne Cups, and it was a great pleasure to talk to them, really.
Yeah, it was wonderful to talk to them, and let's hope they enjoy the running of our great races. We're going to in a little over an hour from now, but we've got 1 to go, Jennifer, and that is the Great Western, and the candidates are in the mounting yard. Don't know where the Spinning Hill is yet, because She was late coming in. There she is now. Yeah, she's just arrived. Let's have a look at Camargue first of all. Brett Preble, the rider for Peter Hayes, showed plenty of courage at Caulfield.
Yes, and the form out of that race has been terrific, and she's a horse that can take up a handy position. A little worry with the 57 kilos, but she'll run well, and she's an each-way chance.
2, Gilded Angel, Jimmy Cassidy, the rider for Matty Ellerton here at Flemington.
Gilded Angel is a terrific horse on a dry track, and she's got that here today. Back to the 1400 is a lot easier for her here as well, and she's a good chance.
La Zoffany, number 3. Frankie Dettori is the rider. He'll be going around on Central Park in the Foster's Melbourne Cup. Jim Conlon, the trainer. Chased home the stablemate of Moonee Valley.
Might be Frankie Dettori's best ride here today. La Zoffany is racing very well. She looks well in the mounting yard, and she's got to be a chance.
Will this be the first leg of a massive double for trainer Guy Walter? The red with the white cap will be carried by Ty the Knot. You can see she's a little bit fizzed up with Shane Dye on board as she goes to the gates.
Well, she drew barrier 17 at Caulfield last start, and she just burnt across the field, and it was a terrific run there, and her 2 runs before that were very good wins at Randwick, so she's a strong chance in this.
Number 7, Nasmar. Peter Hayes trains. Greg Childs takes the ride.
She failed to handle the wet at Caulfield and beat a moderate field at Sandown first up. I think she'll find it a little tougher here.
8 is Fleet. Jason Patton aboard for Clary Connors.
Fleet was very wide at Caulfield but ran on quite well, and I thought if you were taking a trifecta, she's there with some value.
The one you liked at odds in the race, number 10, Miss Truce. Eddie Wilkinson, the rider for Greg Urell.
Yes, she got a long way back there at Caulfield, and she pushed clear. She went to the line extremely well. She's drawn barrier 14, so she's going to need a little bit of luck, but have a look at her on screen there. She looks terrific.
Lee Friedman told us earlier, Jen, that he expected Spectator to run well, and she's to be ridden by Chris Muntz.
I thought she'd probably had every chance at her last couple of outings at Moonee Valley and at Caulfield. I'd give her a place chance. She's well weighted here with 52 kilos.
Now, you know what we want to do? We want to build up the bank before the Foster's
Do we ever?
Cup. So, build it up for us with the trifecta in race 7.
Oh, look, don't put any pressure on me, will you, Peter?
Oh, no, I wouldn't do that.
I'll go for number 10, Miss Truce, to win from number 4, Spinning Hill, and number 2, Gilded Angel.
And you can see a couple of these fillies getting rather excited in front of the big crowd as they head towards the stalls for this, the Great Western. 1 or 2 of them just playing up a little bit, filling the bridles a little bit too much for their riders' likings. And here are the tote figures. Dan Malecki, give us a last-minute check.
$7.80 for number 1, Camargue. $8.70 Gilded Angel. $8.90 La Zoffany. $2.90 Spinning Hill. Very solid there. $12 for number 7, Nasmar. $11 for number 10, Miss Truce, who ran on strongly at Caulfield last time out. On the next page, Spectator, certainly the most favourite there. Some hope to Tracy Ann, who was caught wide and weakened at her most recent run. That's the Great Western Race 7. Tim Gossage in the betting room.
Well, they took a while to come for one, Dan, and they finally did, and that is for the Shane Dye mount. Spinning Hill, it is a strong tip down in the bookmaker's ring. Did get the drifts early, but that's the one they want to be on, as well as the top weight Camargue. But Spinning Hill is the favourite. And Pete, how are those emails going?
Oh, look, we've been flooded with them, Tim Gossage. There's so many, we can't even carry them down to the betting ring. The Great Western starts at the 1400, far side of the track. They're almost on a continuous turn. There are the selections from the experts. Miss Truce from Jennifer, Camargue from Richard and Letzi, Spinning Hill from myself, Dan and Gary, on their way to the gates. After we take a break, we'll witness the Great Western, and we'll also be talking to the trainer of Yavana's Pace in the Foster's Melbourne Cup, Mark Johnston. That's coming up after this. Beside Flemington Racecourse, and it's over by the river that they're lining up for the 1400s of the Great Western. Just before they jump, here is Mark Johnston, the trainer of Ivana's Pace. Mark, welcome back to Flemington.
Thank you.
How's the horse? He can be a little agitated at times.
Yeah, he can do, but mostly in the parade. Yeah, I've been down to watch him in the bird cages down there, and he seems absolutely fine. Very cool so far.
Now, what are you going to do with him? Will he come into the mounting yard with the rest of the horses?
No, he's going to come in late. We would wanted to go out first, but the stewards have said no to that, so he'll come in late. As soon as the other horses move out, he'll come in, mount up and go down last.
You've been here with Quick Ransom and Double Trigger. Is this your best chance of taking the cup, do you think?
Well, it's my best chance because my other 2 chances have gone, you know, but at the time I didn't think so, but third time lucky.
And what about the spectacle of this day? It keeps on getting bigger and better.
Unbelievable. There's nothing like it anywhere in the world.
Mark, the best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Mark Johnston joining us. He'll saddle up Yavana's Pace in the Foster's Melbourne Cup. Only one to go. It's the Great Western. Here's Dan.
Last one up will be Danamore.
Quite incredible, this crowd out here, Dan. Gee, it's got bigger and bigger. gee, I like the look of Spinning Hill number 4, Shane Dye's mount.
In the tie the knot colours, the red with the white cap. Danamore joins the line. Set to go. Racing now, pretty even dispatch. Spinning Hill, if anything, one of the best to jump away. It's looking to lead from Gold Change. Also forward was Fleet in the early part, and ridden forward was Lars Zoffany. Into about 5th position was Nazmar. Down on the inside was Cabaret Girl. Orford Court wider out is going up, and then Gilded Angel Camargue. Move and pick. Danamore drifting back with Tracy Ann, who's back to last, and Miss Truce is about 3rd last down on the inside with Oak Valley as they settle now, and it's Spinning Hill by a length. In 2nd spot, Gold Change, about 2 lengths Lars Zoffany, who gets to 3rd. Orford Court wider in 4th spot, and then Fleet the inside. Just behind those was Cabaret Girl as they make their way to the 700 metres. Move and pick is trapped out very deep. They were followed by Spectator, and Camargue's in on the rails about 6 or 7 lengths off the lead. Nazmar just up ahead of it with Gilded Angel. Move and picks 4 deep, then Oak Valley in the black colours towards the tail end with Miss Truce and Tracy Ann is last. 500 out Spinning Hill into the straight, let a length. Gold Change under pressure. Lars Zoffany right behind them, 3rd, then Orford Court under the whip. Then came Fleet, running on out wider was Gilded Angel. Danamore into the clear, Miss Truce and Spectator wider out. Dropping out of it, Move and pick, Spinning Hill the leader. Lars Zoffany's after it. They were followed by Gold Change, Fleet and Gilded Angel. Lars Zoffany's drawing alongside Spinning Hill. It's Spinning Hill on the inside and Lars Zoffany the outside. Lars Zoffany and Spinning Hill. Lars Zoffany the outside takes the lead, getting near the line, and Lars Zoffany has got the money by half a length too. Spinning Hill and about 3 away. We've got Nazmar doing its best work late for 3rd in front of Fleet, and then Camargue and Danamore, Gilded Angel. Gold Change next, and then Oak Valley, Spectator, Cabaret Girl, Orford Court, Miss Truce and Tracy Ann. And tailed off last of all was Move and Pick, drop right out.
Wow, Frankie Dettori, we saw what a great jockey he is, and that he's ridden his first winner in Australia. He'd be absolutely delighted. He's got up and beaten Spinning Hill, ridden by Shane Dye, but he gave this a beautiful ride. Here he is, he'd followed Shane Dye all the way on Spinning Hill. He had a bit of trouble getting to run there for a while. Once he's got it in the clear, you can see he just gives it a few with the whip. Another one here. Then the last little bit, he put the whip away and got out and rode it hands and heels and really punched it out. There's 2 great jockeys going to the line, but he'll be a relieved man, Dan, to get his first winner in Australia.
And Lars Zoffany was a maiden in 11 starts prior to that performance. Jim Conlon, who I think's got his sights set on the Oaks next year in South Australia, but well done to him, Pete.
Yes, he's flying with the 3-year-old fillies at the moment, Dan. Jimmy, congratulations.
Good on you. Thanks, Peter.
Really good, strong win, that.
Yeah, look, she's a good filly. She's been very unlucky in all her preparation. She's had a foot problem that we had to overcome, but I think next year she's going to be a very good horse.
I'll tell you, the one bloke who's probably just as excited as you is the bloke sitting on her back at the moment. He really wanted to win a race in Australia.
Yeah, look, he's a great rider, and I really thought that this horse would suit him. She's the sort of horse that if you just give her a bit of rein, she'll settle for you, and you know, he's very strong in the finish. His style's probably a little bit different to what we're used to, but he is still, very effective.
They're calling out in the background, the trainer's a genius. I reckon you'll cop that, won't you?
Oh, look, I can't argue with him, really, can I?
Good on you, Jimmy. Well done.
I'll send Darcy and Bella. Hello.
Good on you, mate. Let's head out to the track now. And here he is, Frankie Dettori, after his first winner at Flemington with Johnny Letts.
Well, Frankie, your first winner at Flemington. What do you think?
Well, I've been waiting 5 years. Yes! Finally!
And Frankie, the public are behind you here, and I don't think I've seen a jockey get congratulated so much as I had seeing you getting congratulated by all the other jockeys after the race. It was like the Melbourne Cup.
I think everybody was losing hope on me, but finally I managed to win one.
And the clerk of the course, Graham, told me on your way down to the barrier, he said to you, you got a chance to win a race, and you said, you've mozzed me all the way.
Yes, I told him to shut up and let it happen, and I was very pleased, and this filly was very tough at the end.